Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Concept Lab Pro. In this video, I will be explaining you part 2 of types of inheritance. Watch the full video completely to understand it perfectly. So guys, we'll be discussing about what is multiple inheritance and what is hybrid inheritance in this video. And in previous videos, I explained about single inheritance, multi-level inheritance and hierarchical inheritance also. So watch those videos for super simple understanding of the concepts. And let's get started into this video. So, what is multiple inheritance and whether Java supports multiple inheritance or not, and how these concepts work in real programs. Multiple inheritance means one class inherits properties and behaviors from more than one parent class. In simple words, a child class will get features from two or more parent classes. Here let's understand with this diagram. Here we have two parent classes, father and mother, and we have one child class. The father teaches driving and the mother teaches cooking. So the child learns both driving and cooking from both the parents. In the same way, in programming, one class can inherit features from multiple parent classes. This concept we call as multiple inheritance. But in Java, multiple inheritance is not supported using classes because it may create ambiguity problem. Don't worry, we'll discuss about this ambiguity and how multiple inheritance can support in Java in this video. Here we have a general example to understand the concept clearly. In this example, we have father class with a method drive and mother class with a method cook and a child class which extends father class and mother class. So logically, child class should be able to access both the drive method and cook method. This is exactly what multiple inheritance means, inheriting features from more than one parent class. But in Java, a class cannot directly inherit from two classes at the same time. That means child class cannot extend both father and mother classes together using classes, and Java restricts this to avoid confusion and ambiguity problems in the program. So even though the concept is possible logically, Java does not support multiple inheritance with classes directly. Now let's understand why Java does not support multiple inheritance with classes and what is the ambiguity. It will not support multiple inheritance with classes because it can create confusion in the program. Now the question is, what kind of confusion it is? The confusion is about which method should be executed. Let's understand it clearly. Suppose we have two parent classes and both the classes contain a method with the same name. For example, display. Now, child class inherits from both the parent classes. So, when the child class calls the display method, Java gets confused. Should it execute the method from parent class 1 or should it execute the method from parent class 2? Since both methods have the same name and the child receives both of them, Java cannot decide which one to use. This is the confusion we got, and this confusion is called ambiguity problem. Because of this problem, Java does not support multiple inheritance using classes directly, and that's why in Java one class cannot extend multiple classes at the same time. Let's see the program to understand what actually the ambiguity problem is. Here we have a parent class A and it has a method called show, and this method will print class A. And next we have a class B with the same method show and it prints class B. So both class A and class B have methods with the same name. Now let's create another class called C, which extends class A and class B. At this point, Java gets confused. Why? Because when we call the show method using class C, Java does not know which method should be executed. Should it execute the show method from class A, or should it execute the show method from class B? Since both parent classes contain the same method, Java cannot decide which one to choose, and this confusion we call as ambiguity problem in multiple inheritance. Because of this problem, Java is not going to support multiple inheritance using classes. I hope you understand with the example also. And one more thing, do you know what is diamond problem? Yes, ambiguity problem is also called diamond problem here. Look at this diagram carefully, you will understand. And this diagram is the representation for the previous example also. Here, class B and class C inheriting from the class A. And this class D is inheriting from both the parent classes B and C. Now I think you can understand. At this point, Java becomes confused, right? Because B and C have the same features of A, and D will get confused which feature to take, whether from B or C. And because the structure looks like a diamond shape in the diagram, this problem is called diamond problem. And that is the reason Java avoids multiple inheritance with classes directly. Now, at this point you might be thinking, if Java does not support multiple inheritance using classes, then how is Java supporting multiple inheritance? You may get this question, right? So, the answer for this is interfaces here. Yes, by using interfaces, Java supports multiple inheritance. The reason is very simple here. Interfaces will only declare the methods. They do not provide complete method implementation. That's why there will be no confusion or no ambiguity problem. And about interfaces, I already explained everything clearly in my previous video. I'll provide the link, so do watch that video because interfaces are very important concept, and related videos are also available on my channel. So make sure to watch that because all these concepts are very important. And since interfaces only declare methods and do not contain actual implementation here, Java can safely support multiple inheritance using interfaces. Let's understand with this example here. Here we have an interface called father with a method drive and another interface called mother with the method name cook. Right? So these are our two parent interfaces. Now we create a class called child, and this child class implements both the father interface and mother interfaces. Since interfaces only declare the methods, the child class itself will create the actual code for those methods. So inside the child class, we implement the drive method. It means here interface only declares the method void drive. That method implementation is there in the child class driving skills. And one more method void cook, which is the method of mother interface, is implemented in this child class cooking skill. Right? Now there is no confusion at all. Why? Because child class itself is defining which code should execute, right? That's why Java safely supports multiple inheritance using interfaces. Now in the main method we create an object of the child class. And when we call object.drive, it will print driving skills. And when we call object.cook, it prints cooking skill. So this is a simple and clear example of how multiple inheritance works using interfaces in Java. And this is the safest way provided by Java to achieve multiple inheritance without ambiguity problem. Now in the previous example you may get one doubt. What if both interfaces have the same method name? Will Java again get confused? Yes, that situation can create ambiguity again. But Java provides a safe solution using default methods. So first, let's understand what default methods are in Java. In previous example, I told about interfaces. They only declare methods. So here, using the default keyword, interfaces can also contain methods with implementation. That means interfaces are not limited to only method declarations anymore. They can also provide method bodies using default methods. Now let's understand this with an example here. Suppose we have interface A with method called show and the implementation with interface E. And we have interface B with the same method name show with implementation interface B. Both interfaces contain the same method name with their own implementation. Now imagine a child class implements both interface A and interface B here. At this point, Java again becomes confused. Why? Because when the child class calls show method, Java does not know which version should execute. Can it be executed with the show method from interface A or the show method from interface B? This again creates an ambiguity problem. So how do we solve it? In this case, child class must override the show method. Yes, child class must override the show method. And inside that method, we can explicitly choose which interface method we want to call. Here we are calling a.super.show. Then here what it means, it will call the show method from the interface A. In the same way, b.super.show, it means show method from the interface B. This tells Java exactly which method implementation should be executed. So ambiguity is removed safely. That's why whenever the same default method exists in multiple interfaces, we override the method in the child class and explicitly choose one using interface name dot super dot method name. I hope you understand this. Finally, let's discuss the last type of inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance, such as single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, or multiple inheritance. Since Java does not support multiple inheritance using classes directly, hybrid inheritance also achieved using interfaces. Now let me explain this clearly with a simple real-time understanding. Think of hybrid inheritance like a mix of different family relationships. Example, a child gets qualities from a parent class. This represents a single inheritance. At the same time, the child can also get abilities from multiple interfaces. This represents multiple inheritance. When these inheritance types are combined together, it is called hybrid inheritance. Now look at this structure carefully here. Student inherits from parent class. This is single inheritance, and the same student class also implements sports, right, and music interfaces also. This represents multiple inheritance using interfaces. So the combination of both becomes hybrid inheritance. And extends keyword is used for the class and implements keyword is used for the interface. Now let's understand this example clearly. Here person is the parent class and we have a child class student, and this student class is extending the person class. This represents the single inheritance because one child class is inheriting from one parent class. So, the student class can access the properties and behaviors of the parent class person. Now, along with that, the student class also implements two interfaces. See here, interface sport and music. We have two interfaces here, sports interface and music interface, and this child class is implementing the sports and music interfaces. This represents multiple inheritance using interfaces because student class is getting features from multiple interfaces at the same time. So here two different inheritance types are being used together. Single inheritance through the person class, multiple inheritance through the sports and music interfaces. Since more than one type of inheritance is combined in the same program structure, it is called hybrid inheritance. So, hybrid inheritance is simply a combination of different inheritance types working together in one program. And see here in this program, see the main method. Student yes is created an object. After that, yes.showName from the parent class is executing I am a person, and s.play from the sports interface is executing playing cricket, and s.sing from the music interface is executing singing a song. I hope you understand this clearly. So finally we have completed all the types of inheritance in Java in a simple and easy way. I hope now you clearly understood what is inheritance, different types of inheritance, multiple, hybrid and ambiguity problems in Java. I have also uploaded the previous parts of this topic and I will provide all the links in the description. Watch those, you will get clarity and you will understand it clearly. So make sure to check those videos also as well to understand everything clearly from the basics and foundation level, including objects and other OOPS concepts also. Watch all the related lectures step by step and learn more concepts easily. And if you found this video helpful and valuable, then please support me by liking the video, sharing it with your friends and subscribing to my channel. Your support motivates me to create more valuable content and useful updates for you all. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.